So, about a week ago, my college had this games night thing going on, and I decided to show up there, be social, maybe make some new friends, because I figured why not, right? So, I show up there, and I meet this one girl, or rather, she meets me, and, I didn't think much of it. She wants to add my snap, and I'm like, okay, cool, here you go. And that was that. And so fast forward a little bit, and she's asking to hang out after school a lot of days, and on the weekends. I was actually busy a lot of these times, so I wasn't blowing her off. I was just dead serious with her. I basically just said, sorry, can't do it, busy. So today, actually, I wanted to make this video when it was fresh in my mind. She confessed to liking me. Unfortunately, I didn't like her back. So, welcome to a new video where I'm talking about relationships, liking someone, and how to be careful with someone else's feelings. I also apologize for the lack of videos. I have a few new subscribers, so thank you guys for supporting me. It's really awesome. I've just been a little busy lately, but I quit my job now, so I'm no longer working. So I should have a little bit more spare time going on. So anyway, let's get into the topic today. So oftentimes on this channel, I've talked about wanting a partner and wanting someone to go out with. Now, I had the opportunity for that, but this girl she wasn't really my type. I think that's the best way to put it. She was very talkative and very ADHD, I guess. Not saying that's a bad thing. It was just a lot for me. I'm a fairly reserved person, and she talks so much that I can't get a word in, like that sort of thing. So be it. I'm fine being friends. And so today she tells me that she likes me. And I was like, okay, shit. I have one of two options. Either I be blunt with her and say I don't like her back, or I say I'm gay and that's why I can't date her. So I decided to take the higher route and do neither, and explain to her that I appreciate her coming to me for that, but I'm just not looking for a relationship right now. And she took relatively well to that. But there's some other things going on there too. Like she was using me a bit for driving, and there's a few other things going on there that it just wouldn't work out. I wouldn't want a relationship through that. And I also think there's nothing wrong with that. You have every right to say no to a relationship if it doesn't suit you. I think that's totally fine, right? And so I explained to her that, I appreciate your honesty and communication, but it's not the right time for me. I think that was the best way I could have handled it, because I felt like it would have went worse if I was just blunt about it. I was honest enough to be sincere, but I also kind of sugarcoated the truth a bit. And so if you can tell, this wasn't my first time doing something like this. I've done it a few times before where I had to kind of break the news like that. And that's the point of this video, is don't be afraid to say no to someone. I feel like people are afraid to get into relationships, or sorry, to not get into relationships because they're afraid of the other person's reaction or being alone or something along those lines. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you know you're going to be more unhappy being in a relationship, then you're fine being by yourself. It will hurt the other person temporarily, or it might be a little awkward, but I do think that's better than more of a long-term hurt, And so I wanted to kind of talk about how people get in relationships a lot just for the sake of it, and that ends worse than cutting the head off the snake when it first begins. I also wanted to talk a bit about being picky, right? So I have an ideal woman in my head, right? I feel like a lot of us do. And I also know that no one will live up to that. But on the flip side, I also have certain standards, I guess. Sounds bad. More like negotiables and non-negotiables, right? And so I look at it and I'm like, could I bring this girl in front of my family? And would she be someone that I would want to spend time with? You know, would she be someone I'd want to show to my family? Like that sort of thing, right? And there's a lot of considerations there. But as much as I talk about being lonely and being alone, I also don't want to rush into a relationship. I've done that before, and they've all lasted about a week. And that's been it. Just because rushed relationships don't work. If you try to force it, it's not going to work out, right? And I think that's another thing people need to I consider is it's okay to just be friends with someone. Like, I don't know why there's such a force to try to be in a relationship. I think it should be a natural thing. I also think that, like, that idea of a natural relationship doesn't really exist anymore. There's been a few girls who have talked to me and, have went on a few dates, but it's felt so forced. It hasn't felt natural. It hasn't felt like, hey, you want to hang out? It's like, hey, you want to go to a coffee shop and talk about our dreams and aspirations. And it's like, well, that's fine and all, but it's so forced, it's not going to work out. So I know I've been all over the place here, and I hope you guys kind of followed along for what I'm saying. I hope it's not too personal in the sense where it's not relatable. But the takeaway is that it's okay to be single. It's also okay to be honest with people and communicate your feelings, because your feelings are valid. You don't have to always protect others. If you're feeling a certain way, sometimes you have to be the one to take time for yourself too, because you have to take care of yourself just as much as anyone else. Imagine you as another person and how you treat them. Okay, that's a takeaway of this. I am trying to do better with my sad and depressing content. I'm trying to be more hopeful. So let me know if this did make you a little bit more hopeful. I hope it might have did something for you guys. But yeah, I should be doing some more videos, more consistent videos. All depends on my scheduling and blah blah blah. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know how you've been doing, and anything else you want to tell me about. I'm always here for you guys. So take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Right? Bye bye.